Hi, welcome to the video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy, and comment your thoughts and opinions on the stories. Let's get started. Am I the antagonist for not wanting to invite my brother to my wedding? Between ages 8 and 14, I was fat. I have 3 siblings, a brother who is 7 years older than me, a sister who is 10 years older than me, and a brother who is 9 years older than me. If you're wondering what's up with the big age gap, my dad had stage 4 cancer among many other health issues before I was born. A doctor told him that he had a better chance of getting struck by lightning than having another child. Long story short, he always called me his lightning child and never made me feel like an accident or a mistake. He was a great dad. When I was a kid, my brother, who is 9 years older than me, fat shamed me to the point that I started to have trouble eating. I got in shape, but I'm 22 now, and I still can't look at myself in the mirror without hearing my older brother calling me a little fat boy. When I was 18 and went to university, I made some great friends. One day we were all chatting about high school bullies, and I told them that my older brother was my bully. It wasn't until then that I realized how insane it was, realizing that my bully was a grown man who caused me to have eating disorders, among other mental health issues. Was a real wake-up call for me. Shortly after, my dad died, and not a day goes by where I don't think about him. I tried to keep in touch with my brother to see how he was doing, but eventually, we ended up only seeing each other at family gatherings. He would make snide remarks to me, judging what I do for a living. I do research in mathematics, implying my work is useless, making jokes that I'm too skinny. One day I snapped after he made one of those snide remarks, so I got up and left. That was 2 years ago. Since then, I try to avoid family gatherings that he goes to. My brother knows now that I'm not just some submissive child who will put up with him anymore, so we haven't had any problems in the past 2 years. But how are you supposed to have issues with a person you don't talk to? My other family members say that I need to talk to him to resolve our issues. They never understand that I have tried to do that for years. I tried doing it once I wasn't fat anymore, and I tried doing it after our dad died. Eventually, I grew sick of trying to be the bigger person, because no matter how hard I try, I'm always disappointed. I recently got engaged to the love of my life. We have the whole wedding planned now. When we were figuring out who we were inviting, I didn't think there would be an issue not inviting my brother. I don't want anything negative associated with one of the best days of my life. When I told my other brother and my mom that he wouldn't be invited, they both reacted calmly, but said they were disappointed. It turns out they were talking about me behind my back, saying that I'm being very petty about everything. I told them I would invite him to my wedding. I don't know at this point. I need some outside perspective here. Am I the antagonist? I would express your disappointment with your mother and brother in no clear terms. The fact that they once again care more about supporting his inappropriate behavior than they do about you having a loving and joyful experience on your wedding day is what disappoints you the most. Comment by team member Parker. Now for the top comments. NTA, it's a recurring theme in these posts where the family try to impose their view on your wedding. Try to ignore them as much as possible and explain your situation. I don't know how much they know, but since it's your wedding, you and your fiancé must have the last word on it. Good luck and I wish you a happy wedding. Thank you. NTA. Hello. This guy bullied you heavily into disordered eating and hating yourself, and to this day, or at least the last time you two spoke, he has body shamed you. You deserve to be in charge of the happiest day of your life and no one else, except your bride, is. I hope you won't give up, and that he won't be invited. Lots of love to you. Thank you so much. NTA, people who treat you like shit don't deserve a place in your life. Especially beautiful beginnings in your life. And honestly, if it were me, I'd be not inviting my mother and other brother. They think it's okay that he abused you, gave you some pretty significant mental health issues, and continued to treat you poorly after numerous attempts to fix the relationship. You can't support me and my abuser at the same time, at least not in this situation. So, they'd be out too. I was thinking this very thing. Where was your mother protecting you? Classic bully and blame the victim. Your family is toxic. Spend time surrounded by people who care and support you. Being family doesn't give them a free pass to be included in your life or tolerate their bullshit. Congratulations on your engagement and upcoming wedding, and for overcoming your abuse to now have so much positive in your life. Amazing achievement. Am I the antagonist for wanting my adult stepdaughter, 18, to move out? So small backstory. My husband and his daughter moved into my house back in 2016. I was more than happy for my stepdaughter, Erin, to move in, since she doesn't get on with her own mother. Me and my husband have a child of our own who is now 5. Erin and my son get along so well, and she is amazing with him. But sometimes I get a little jealous about the bond they have. My son will only want to be hugged by her or spend his time with. He even stopped wanting me to read him a story at night and says he likes the way Erin does it better. I admit this makes me jealous, but it is not the reason I want her out like my husband keeps thinking is the reason. We recently found we are having another child, and since our house only has 3 bedrooms there just won't be enough room. I want to turn Erin's room into a nursery room. Since it is my house, I thought my husband would understand that I want my room back, as I was nice enough to let her stay here for 6 years. She's 18 now and legally an adult, so I don't feel any guilt about asking her to leave. Her college doesn't have accommodation, so she lives here while at college. So I understand it would be difficult for her to find a place to stay. She could even move back in with her own mother while she looks for a place. My husband is mad at my decision and is calling me an R and saying if she goes then he goes too. I don't want to lose him too, but I feel like this is my decision, not his. I've not told Erin about this yet, but planning to soon, so I can get on with decorating before I physically can't. I'm worried she'll think I'm an R2, since I still want a relationship with her. So please help me. Am I the antagonist? You seem to be envious of the relationship your son and Erin share. He shouldn't have any influence in what I do in my own home. In my opinion, a partnership, marriages. It's good that your husband resisted you. You have a spouse. It's not going to be how you want it. Comment by team member Alex. Now for the top comments. AITA. And guess what? Even if Erin and your husband move out of your house, your son is still gonna like her more. That burn must hurt. Awesome. AITA. After raising this child from age 12 to 18, you feel justified in kicking her out. She's in college, so obviously not working and earning enough to support herself. She isn't a piece of furniture you can discard because you're redecorating. Just admit you want her away from your other child. Most parents would be thrilled that their kids get along so well. I would give the same ultimatum to you if I was your husband. You're horrible. Oh, no. She didn't raise her. She was nice enough to let her stay here for 6 years. That tells you all about this gaping asshole. Which, how do you get to that point? You see a kid go through middle and high school yet feel nothing? It's not nothing. She's jealous her son likes Erin better than he likes her. And with her attitude, it's not hard to imagine why. AITA. The a-hole. You're the a-hole. 1. It honestly sounds like you are jealous about the bond your son and Erin have. It also sounds like you are having another baby to try and build a bond with another baby and don't want Erin to ruin it. 2. Backquote, I don't think he should get a say in what I do in my own home. Girl, are you 5? Marriage is a partnership. And honestly, if I was him and I saw that comment, I would leave. It is his daughter. They came as a package deal. 3. You said she doesn't get along with her mom, but then say she can go live with her until she finds a place. Do you know the toxic place that puts Erin in? Sounds like you have a lot of growing up to do. Am I the antagonist for stealing my son's dog from him? I, 42 male, have a son, 16 male. For my son's 14th birthday, me and my wife got him a husky because he liked the outdoors and he said he wanted an outdoorsy dog. My son named him Zeus. In the 2 years that we've had Zeus, my son has never taken him on a walk, pet him, or basically show him any emotion or attention. He treats him more like a random piece of house furniture than an actual dog. But in these 2 years Zeus has gotten close with me, my wife and my other 2 children. To us he is basically family and we take care of him really well. We also pay out of our pockets for all his needs such as food, medical, etc. Here where I might be the R. In recent years my son lost his love for the outdoors and now he cares more about expensive shoes and video games. My son came to me and my wife and asked us if we could buy him some expensive gaming equipment, but we couldn't afford it at this time, so we said no. Last month I caught my son putting up an ad on Craigslist trying to sell Zeus so he could buy the gaming equipment. I told him he was forbidden from selling Zeus and that he couldn't. We got into a heated argument after that. A week ago my son offered to take Zeus out on a walk, and I thought nothing of it until it hit me that he never has opted to do anything with Zeus. I decided to follow him from a distance, and eventually after an hour of walking I caught him in a parking lot trying to sell Zeus. I told the man trying to buy Zeus that he wasn't for sale, and took my son home. When we got home I took away all my son's electronics, so he couldn't put up any more ads, and he told me that I'm being selfish, and that Zeus is technically his dog, so he can do whatever he wants with it. I haven't really talked to my son, because I'm still mad, because I really love Zeus. Some of my family say I'm overreacting. Am I the antagonist? FYI, I probably should have said this earlier, but my son has a cat that he takes care of very well and loves a lot. So when he asked for the dog me and my wife didn't expect this behavior because he loves his cat so much and hasn't given us a reason he has empathy issues. A dog purchased for a child is not necessarily his to keep unless they are moving out with it and the family has approved of it. Your kid has no right to sell the dog if he did not invest any time, money, or effort into caring for it. Comment by team member Corey. Now for the top comments. NTA. Your son is appalling. Plain animal cruelty. And you did the right thing. You did not steal. It was being mishandled. And you stepped in. Good for you. Good for the dog. Ground your son for a few weeks. Maybe he'll understand. Also, if parents pay for all vet stuff, it's their dog, not the son's. NTA. Your son flat out tried to sell a dog he otherwise neglects to buy video games without telling anyone in the family he intended to sell a family pet. It became a family pet after he chose to completely divorce himself from any and all dog care. It's long past time to stop calling it his dog. You couldn't afford whatever it was he wanted, so he didn't get that thing, which is how presents work. Someone can't give a present they don't have the money for. Stopping him from selling a family pet because he provides no care to the dog and has left all the walking, training, feeding, etc. to you all is the most reasonable option. Taking away his electronics makes sense, since he used those electronics to specifically attempt to sell the dog after you told him no. He's tried twice to sell this dog that you're aware of, and he definitely gets a solid electronics free period before he's given the chance to attempt it a third time. Calm down and have a discussion with your son. Not talking with your son about it isn't helping things. I'd sell the electronics. Tell the son you can't afford to get more dog food, so goodbye game console, your sacrifice won't be in vain. Am I the antagonist for not giving up airplane seat to 80-year girl? Me, 26 meters, and my GF, 25F, were boarding a plane and going to our seats, center and window seat, where we paid extra so that we can sit next to each other on the flight. After getting to our 3-seat aisle, there was a mother and her 8Y-old girl where one of them was in our seats. We asked about the seating assignments and the mother stated that the airline crew told her that she and her daughter must sit next to each other and that the center seat belongs to her daughter. We called a crew member over to help sort things. The mother emphasized that her daughter is only 8Y-old and it's a long flight, 4 hours, so that they needed to sit next to each other. Note that she changes the story a bit here while shushing her daughter when the daughter is trying to explain the situation herself. The crew member told the mother that she should have asked AO, not sure what this means, about this prior to boarding, while adding that, since the flight is in full capacity and the seats are assigned, they should stay at their assigned seat, and need to ask me and my GF if we're okay with switching. The mother argued that she asked us, but we said no. In reality, the mother never asked us, only proclaimed the seat is his before the crew member came by. While I'm perfectly fine with switching seats, so a mother and young daughter can sit with each other on a flight, I don't appreciate being lied to, potentially manipulated, and guilt tripped so they can get their way. Still at this point, the mother never asked us to switch and probably assumed we would say no. While the daughter started to move back to her seat, the father in the next aisle tried to guilt trip me stating "Snate why? Oh girl. Mon man." I told him that if the mother was more professional about the situation instead of lying to us, there wouldn't be an issue. He then yelled "fuck you," that I'm the reason the world is fucked up, and to wait till I have a daughter to understand. At the end we found out that the mother's and daughter seats were one row apart. Am I the antagonist? TLDR, didn't give seat to the daughter when mother lied about how the seat worth is, and was then cursed out by angry father. Don't pretend as though your seating assignment is a surprise when you board, because everyone is aware of it in advance. You prepared, you paid, and now you are reaping the rewards. The youngster could have sat next to you, and the mother in the seat that the irate father could have given up if he had offered it. Comment by team member Charlie. Now for the top comments. NTA. I really dislike this backquote. I have a child. Therefore I'm entitled means that some parents have. If you have a child you plan better, or make a request not demand, or try to manipulate. Plan better. Like OIDK paying extra for seats next to each other like the Opus. NTA. NTA. I hate it when people don't plan and then expect others will just accommodate them. Mother could have bought seats next to each other or talked with the gate agent. Also really rude not even to ask for people to switch and just assume they will. Both mom and dad were just wanting to control the situation. We should have a whole other AITA subreddit for situations involving people and reserved seats. And it should just be a bot giving not the a-hole verdicts to the person that reserved the seat. I legit can't count how many posts I've seen about some entitled jagweed that didn't reserve a seat and then gets upset at someone that did. Tough shit. r/stolen seats. NTA. If they wanted seats beside each other they should have booked them. Also you should look at getting refunded the extra you paid. Also airline at fault for allowing an ATO to be booked into a seat not beside a parent. Am I the antagonist for shaving my baby's unibrow? I have a baby girl who has a very thick unibrow. Of course I think she is beautiful, including her bushy little brow. But I'm so tired of the comments from other people, literally on a daily basis. People tell me I should dress her up as Frida Kahlo for Halloween. Jokingly ask if she has a caterpillar on her face. Tell me dad must be really hairy, etc. Nobody seems to notice anything about her except that unibrow. So, I shaved a little separation into her brow. I used a tiny little facial razor that is very gentle on skin and made sure to take care of her skin afterwards. It didn't cause any sort of irritation or issues and I've continued to do it every week or so. My husband finally noticed I did it initially about a month ago and demanded to know how I could possibly do something like that to our child. He's angry with me because 1. I didn't run it by him first. 2. Him going to give her body image issues. And 3. There's nothing wrong with the unibrow. I told him when she's old enough to voice her opinions she can tell me what she wants. But until then I'm going to keep shaving it so that people notice more than just her unibrow. He told me to post it on here to prove to me that I'm the R. You can shave unattractive brows if you can brush your toddler's hair without the masking. They always have the option to leave it later in life. The child won't develop a negative body image as a result of this because they don't even have one yet. Comment by team member Cody. Now for the top comments. Your husband just now noticed your kid doesn't have a unibrow anymore. A month after the fact, when it's literally right on her face. I have no feelings either way about the op, but I do think it's funny that the dad got so mad and yet he is apparently so disinterested in his own child that it took him a month to notice. He's probably mad only because he's disinterested enough about appearances to not care, but doesn't hear the annoying comments that his partner is getting. This is just the thing. People will say stuff to mothers that they won't say in front of fathers. It's truly shocking when you're a first time parent. NTA. She's a baby. She doesn't even care if she has clothes on or not. She's not going to be at all concerned with her eyebrows. You shaved it because people were making comments that really didn't need to be made. You used appropriate tools, and clearly you haven't cut the baby. If anything, The people making the comments would cause body issues for drawing attention to a characteristic she can't help. Exactly. I wish people would stop making comments about random babies they don't know. A friend of mine had a chunkier baby and some old man wanted to know if she was feeding her baby concrete. Another friend had a baby with a large head that people constantly made rude comments about. Postpartum moms don't want to hear that shit about their babies. Shaving a gap to make 2 eyebrows doesn't hurt the child and helps the mom not have to deal with asshole comments. Am I the antagonist for refusing to attend my brother's wedding? Throwaway for obvious reasons. So as the title gives away, my 19 male brother, 22, we'll call him Jay, is getting married to his girlfriend, 21. We'll call her Gray, of a couple years. From everything I've heard of her, she's great, kind, makes him more happy than I've ever seen him, and I was ecstatic that he was getting married. Until I learned that she was my ex. Me and Gray dated for around 6 months when I was 17 and she was 19. The age gap wasn't a problem for us and we got along just fine. But she kept bringing up me always being busy and I kept apologizing and saying I can't be available all the time. But she wasn't really having any of it and broke things off. What made it worse is a month later her and Jay started dating. I was furious with him and told him off for pursuing my ex and then cut him off and told him talk to me again when you're not talking to her anymore. He contacted me 2 months later saying they broke up. I believed him because me and Gray broke contact completely before so me and Jay started talking again. We are also kinda contacting each other long distance right now since he's in the military, so I don't really have a close look on his life. When Jay announced his engagement with Gray, he never said her name. We were all excited for him, especially when he pulled me aside, and I got even more excited because I thought he was gonna ask me to be his best man. He told me so about the girl I'm marrying. I don't want you to be mad at me, but you know when I said I broke up with Gray, I didn't even let him finish before saying I'm not attending your fucking wedding and walking out. I tried my best not to make a scene but everyone saw me leave and was blowing up my phone afterwards asking what happened and why I was being such an ass walking out on Jay like that. I pretty much responded to all of them. Don't try convincing me to attend his wedding when he lied to me for 2 years. My mom is pissed and so is my grandma that I'm making a scene out of something so small and to just get over it. Am I the antagonist? Dating your sibling's ex as soon as the relationship ends is a grave breach of the sibling code. This wedding is not something you must attend. 2 years of lying is hardly a tiny lie. It is evidence that he can and will stab you in the back if he decides it will be to his advantage. Comment by team member Cody. Now for the top comments. Is the account aggressively replying to every comment your brother may owe? Because they seem pretty pressed about this. There are 2 of them now. Both accounts with no history and this being the only post they have commented on. And they both really want the family to cut ties with Opus. NTA something small. If your own brother felt he had to lie to you about the relationship, you know it's messed up. Obviously you have to do the healthy choice and move on, which from your tone sounds like you are succeeding in doing, but you have no obligation to attend her wedding, let alone to your own brother. Op should say he'll attend the wedding and then go bar hopping instead. Lying is minor. The brother will get over it. NTA. He lied to you more than once, and quite frankly, her going out with your brother so soon after the 2 of you broke up seems weird to me. Info: if your brother had not said that they broke up and instead allowed you to break off all contact with him, would you be okay with him announcing his marriage to this girl, and would you attend? Because they would have been together, and he wouldn't have kept it a secret. I most likely would have just moved past everything and gotten used to the fact that they're together now and talked to him again, but the fact he lied set everything on edge. So yeah, I probably would attend. NTA. I would not be upset about him marrying her if it's in the past, but about him lying and hiding it this way for who knows how long. SMH.